Welcome to the Doggy Style Podcast, where self-development meets animal development, with your host, myself, Kelsey Kyle. My mission is to create content that brings people healing through animals. When I found my love and passion for dogs, and most importantly, started to take action to help them in my own way, this is when my whole life changed and my path to self-development really began. I'll be sharing all the tools that have helped me throughout the years, from finding my passion and pursuing it, overcoming OCD, anxiety, coming out of the closet, and honestly, the list goes on. Some weeks I'll be interviewing guests to open up new perspectives, and other weeks I'll just be diving in solo. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode, and connect with me by leaving a rating or a review, or follow me on Instagram at Kelsey W. Kyle. And in true doggy style fashion, all of the episodes will be honest, raw, authentic, and absolutely no topics are off limits. If it's something I feel more people should be talking about, I promise you will find it here. With all that being said, today's topic is think less and feel more. It's a concept I recently thought up that has been helping me so much lately on a daily basis. So, question for you. Do you consider yourself an overthinker? If the answer is yes, I promise this episode is for you. And I know that because I'm the biggest overthinker you will ever meet. I've struggled with OCD and anxiety for as long as I could remember, and the interesting thing is that it truly used to be a tool for me, a productive tool for me. I used to use it as a way to protect myself from feeling. Because I truly think when I used this as a tool, I wouldn't have been able to handle my feelings. I would have probably done bad things. I don't really know what I mean by that, but I mean, if I think about it, I just would have been even more depressed or more anxious, or I wouldn't be able to handle my feelings, and I don't think I would have had anyone to talk to, and I couldn't give myself what I needed, so I protected myself. So I think it was a good tool at the time. But now it's a different story. 29 years later, I'm 29, so it took me 29 years to figure this out. It's no longer a tool for me. Definitely does not serve me anymore. And if you're listening to this now, I bet that it no longer serves you as well. I've been coping with my feelings by overthinking to the max, rather than simply just feeling these feelings. So I would overthink them and figure it out all in my mind, as if that does anything in reality. So insane, but that's what I've literally been doing all my life. And it's just slowing me down now. It's counterproductive. It's not good for me anymore. So I've deeply reflected and meditated on this, and I've yet to find one actual benefit from overthinking, other than the fact that I do think it did protect me when I was little, when I was younger, when I was growing up, but no longer anymore. It's only suppressed my emotions and feelings inside of me, so I didn't have to feel them at all in that moment. But unfortunately, that's not how emotions work. If you don't address them immediately or somewhat soon, and so if you ignore them and you use your coping mechanism, mine was OCD, overthinking, obsessive, compulsive about all the possible scenarios that could happen, and making sure I covered all my bases to make sure everything will stay fine, stay safe. And when I did that growing up for as long as I can remember, it felt totally normal. It felt that I had no other option, no other door to choose, no way out. It just felt normal. It felt like how it would be forever. That's just how it felt. And I didn't share it with anybody or anything, so I just assumed. And it wasn't until I started really on my path of self-development and started doing plant medicine journeys 3-4 years ago, where I would do my normal coping mechanism, but it was different because my body would be tense. I would barely be breathing. I would get all hot and bothered, not in a good way. So my body was just telling me, no, feel me, don't think me, you know? So if you don't feel your emotion right away or somewhat soon, the emotion will come up in other areas, and they'll come up much harsher, much more confusing. You won't be able to figure out why you're feeling this way. And I mean, I'm sure you've all felt this way. That's not a fun feeling. And it will be even harder to feel because it'll be more harsh, just way more extreme, and possibly last longer. I've had emotions that I've felt for a couple minutes, a couple seconds, and some a couple weeks. And I would imagine the ones that lasted a couple weeks, it's because I've suppressed them since I was a little girl, for sure. So you truly have to feel it to heal it. You want to be uncomfortable. That means you're processing. That means you're alive. That means you're on the right path and you're growing. When you take the time to recognize the emotion, the feeling in your body, whether it be good or bad, it'll take the power away, and it'll just be a feeling. Feelings come up because they want to be felt, and then they want to go away. That's it. So I invite you to feel all the things when they come up, the bad and the good. Because when you suppress bad feelings and emotions, you're also suppressing the good ones. And life is truly 50-50. So a few months ago, probably a month after all this COVID stuff began, I decided to make a promise to myself. I do that quite often. It's kind of a fun little game. I think everybody should do that in whatever areas. And my promise to myself is to think less and feel more. So to not overthink, but instead overlearn. I've noticed that when I'm overthinking, I'm literally stopping everything in my mind. In my mind, at least, I'm stopping everything. And I go through every bad or scary scenario. I already mentioned this before, but I want to repeat it again because I think it ties in nicely with this. So I go through every scenario that could occur, and I don't want it to occur. And I do the same thing for things I do want to occur. It's just a nightmare, a mental nightmare. And I make sure I'm doing everything in my power to prevent that thing from happening, or to have that thing happen. When in actuality, I truly have zero control over what this universe will put in front of me. In other words, I'm trying to control the uncontrollable in my mind. Now, if that isn't absolutely insane, I really don't know what is. So when I catch myself doing this about whatever the hell, for example, did I lock the door? Classic OCD obsession. Does this Instagram post offend anyone? I don't ever want to offend anyone, but sometimes you're going to have to. For COVID, is my grandma going to get COVID and die? Or my dog's going to somehow get out of the house and get hit by a car? These fears are endless, and I know you have fears like this of your own. So as soon as you catch yourself doing this, overthinking about literally anything, stop, take a breath, and remind yourself that you're on this planet to live however you feel fit, and to learn from all of it. Think less, feel more, and in turn, learn more and grow more. Learn from doing something great and perfect, because that will happen 50% of the time, most likely. A big percent of the time, that will happen. And learn even more from doing something shitty. And in making this simple yet hard change, I have found unlimited amount of benefits. And the best benefit of all is the more you let go. In other words, the more you don't rely on your brain to overthink things. So the more you let go and allow yourself to truly feel these fears or these happy feelings, just to feel everything rather than think them away, which, if you're following, does absolutely nothing, the more you'll learn and the more you'll grow. Is doing this so freaking uncomfortable? Yes, it is. But that's how you know you're pushing yourself to your limits. That's how you know you're changing. That's how you know you're growing. And if you truly want to level up and get to your next stage in life, whatever that is to you, you're going to have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think that's the key to life. There's no way around it. Literally no way around it. The only way around it, or what is it? The only way to it is through it. I don't know. Let's go with that. Is to feel it. Find your fear, lean in, and level up. Keep doing that and watch how your life changes. And if you weren't sold yet, I don't think there's anything fun about overthinking. No fun with overthinking. When I'm in an over-attaching, overthinking, compulsive state, I am stressed, anxious, barely breathing, not enjoyable. The interesting thing about that, though, is, I already told you this, but yeah, I didn't feel that way at first. So my body is learning. My body is telling me stuff, and I'm actually listening. I'm here to listen. I'm present enough to hear my body talking to me. Oh, man, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, let's get back on track. So now, when I feel myself falling into my old patterns, that second door pops up, I'm taking it. Why? Because while it is still painful sometimes, at least I'm not suffering. My old coping mechanism is suffering. And I'm growing and learning all at the same time. And on the other side of it, always, 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 on the other side of feeling my feelings is pure presence, love, freedom, and me just being me. Truly me. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is truly a choice. So what are you going to choose? I offer this to you, and I really hope that you give it a shot if you feel called. And if you still think this overthinking coping mechanism that I think a lot of us do is a productive tool, like I thought it was for me, I truly thought it was, I'm here to tell you that you are amazing, so powerful, and you can do whatever your soul wants to. And I know that for a fact. All you have to do is be brave and courageous enough to feel those feelings and to know that whatever you're feeling is okay and is going to pass. Whatever you're feeling is okay and is going to pass. So give yourself permission to feel so you can heal and so you can grow into whatever your open heart desires. Is it hard? Yes. Is it worth it? I promise. I promise it's worth it. So let's do it together. Starting right now. Love you. Talk to you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening. I really, really, really hope this helps you in some way, shape, or form. I hope it helps you a lot. I really do. Leave me a rating, a review. Let me know if this makes any sense at all or if it makes no sense. Just please let me know. Let me know. And follow me on Instagram at KelseyWKyle2 for daily inspiration for yourself and for your dogs. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.